Ago, ago. Dr. Bawumia Chame, Kojo. And she say, ya, will fear and says, Sabio, Obia Ba, ye be woman. Obi Bia Ba, in some kakra or war, how war, excellence in an upgrade of home. Nin cry, sha, or person of the ma, a bushia ma, near bushia, dear told me, no. Or it must show. Na wafra miwura na so obi bitra ono so abetro
Well, these are live images from the residence of the late former First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Ghana's longest serving First Lady for that matter, Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. Presently is the former Vice President and former flag bearer for the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Bawumia, who is here to commiserate with the bereaved family. And he's in the company of his wife, Madam Bawumia, and other officials from the opposition New Patriotic Party. I see Member of Parliament for Fosia Arabi and former Minister for Wexenhausen, Kojo Nkrumah, also former and some other former ministers in the Eswell New Patriotic Party administration. I see Dominic Mitibu. I also see former running mate for the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempe also present, and other notable figures from the now opposition New Patriotic Party, all present here to commiserate with the bereaved family. Dr. Bawumia, in his remark, emphasized how the relation he had with the late former First Lady Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. He called her a mother. He says they had had, there's been countless occasions where the former First Lady would advise him, give him some form of guidance for as politics is concerned, and what have you. And so for him, her demise hits as close to home. He described the former First Lady as a repository of Ghana's political history. Like former President Kufuor, when he visited here, mentioned that Ghana's history cannot be written without Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. But
Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, so you see here, it's your mind here. You see your mind, every she say, be a no, now so better. No, no, any dom. A baby cat, you see your mind in Captain Fabia. Sabri only said, I won't be with you. So, was your penny, Mamma, Maya, or Shenanty, what did you penny for? Yes, it was
Baby. My dear Dr. Bawumia chance. Say, I'm going to be a new, picture of President as a kind of format.
Because the dean of the diplomatic corps hasn't been here, they are now putting together the team. I'm on the platform, so I know.
That's why I don't want to give a name list to the man. Okay. They will introduce
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. Where you are, there is
Yeah, in your shots presently is former Vice President Dr. Bawumia and his wife, Madam Bawumia, and other functionaries in the previous administration going around to exchange pleasantries and to console the bereaved family. All 4 children of the deceased former First Lady are present here and in the company of their Ebusuya Penny Oheneba Akwesi Abeyi, also from the Menshia Palace, all present here, receiving, guests who have thronged their premises to commiserate with them. The former vice president is not alone. Apart from his wife, I also see former Minister for Defense Dominic Nitiwu. I also see his running mates for the 2024 general election, Dr. Matthew Prempe, also present here, and the host of others. We'll try and see if we can possibly get Dr. Matthew Prempe, who is currently exiting the inner perimeter of the place, to possibly see if we could get a sound or two from him. Doc, yes. Doc, good afternoon. You are live on Channel 1 TV.
Speak to them, please.
Okay, yeah. Honorable, good day. You are live on Channel 1 television.
This man is.
You just want to have, yes, we just want to have a brief engagement with you. How did the passing of the former First Lady come to you?
Well, the former Vice President and I were in the fields, and where he was campaigning. In fact, when it happened and the news came to me, he was making a presentation. So when he finished, I told him, we sat in the vehicle and I told him what had happened. And suffice it to say that he was shell-shocked by the news. And so it was decided then to come to the following day to commiserate with the family, only to be told that it was not going to be possible because the family was not going to settle on Saturday and Sunday, which is why in consultation with the family, it was agreed to come today. So that's how you see us.
Okay. Thank you very much. So that's former a leader of the House from the minority side. Well, he served on both sides as majority and minority. Honorable Say Chairman Sabos, also former member of Parliament for Swami, who accompanied the former Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, to commiserate with the bereaved family. We are still coming to you live from the residence of the former First Lady, Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, here in Accra, where a section of the public and other notable figures are here to commiserate with the bereaved family.
Jael, can we have you this year, please?
Good morning, and I'd like to warmly welcome you to the residence of Her Excellency Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. And as protocol demands, and per our custom in Ashanti, Yabapa said, Yababu Samupachi, Yadihani. Namubaye Brisini Company Petrolation. Monamonam, I'm not to see him.
All right, Senator. Good morning once again. Mr. Chami, before we ship Waha, the Sports Ministry, and GFE. And then in answer, and I had seen the crime is said, the coffee. I have been said, I had seen the prayer and I didn't pray. Such a near by and now I see a rough in when you said, don't be brave forever. Actually, said, I had seen you see that I have no prayer and I got no prayer. The woman said, she said, let's not say, if you was saying, said, Mammy. Now, Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. Somebody here, especially Sports Minister, Honorable Kofi Adams, any GFA President, President Ketu, and the delegation, somebody.
Ani obusie nyina amama kwaba na bia wa haso medi abọ ebe ya mbe kakre ni be nda be ya miensa num ni na ya maame ni aba no mimi hunu jua mimi shia wukuada bibie kama no wotwemu na mbam no na meso sister me ko be kwa ya ba no smo nkombra si yo be kwa na itufu ya fe telefone ya kwa je ofo bia nsa na asabda ya dey enti ye busha peni na muko ye friend kola friend ko bona manie se assembly AAC ti ombra with hospital na okay na a doctor for kukudam we cha mini ba nwe hia nde na no abaka say diom tibetumi aye nyina omo yoy na sabio owo krade ma obayeden na me am bishop no so say owo ntimi mu Yakobon twemanso ti pam no twa no ye excellency aye nyame dia enti de mo teye no eye no kure na besia tena ha ya re besi ya bo be echi ti mo ba ya akwaba na de ho no
Honorable Kofi Adams, Sports Minister, whatever you heard, you were not in the country when the incidents happened. You were in France at that time. But say, if you have a fear, you name only the Rawlings' relationship, Senator, once in our office, Auntie Ewo, Ifamamu, Wabaha, Ebusia, Aboyamanye. Nti mejina wa name before ube kasano mejina wa name anemu na yama ebusiani yako busiacha mi ye sure say honorable minister be kasa but me kwanu to say only delegates in fact only delegation enam from ministry any GF you know and abaha ye mame the excellency na Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings or sports pa sports fanatic into people within the sports ecosystem abaha yedikai any the orderly delegation you know say makano former PRO for the Rawlingses Honorable Kofi Adams ewa Obano oni chief director ewa sports ministry Madam Bulemina Asamoah esuwa GFA president oni a qualify World Cup is it for the second time 2 times oni a qualify esuwa then him say yema metias and commercial World Cup I enjoy kan Keti GFA president Mr. Ket Simon Okreku Obano onankasa onunkwamba oni ni huka for Mrs. Rebecca Simon Okreku onusu timichi behind every successful man miyire eti ofefefe GFA vice president Mr. Mark Ado esu ewaha nti onu GFA general secretary Mr. Prosper Harrison Ado ewaha Samuel Abuabi Greater Accra RFA chairman onusu ewaha netafenu Qatar GFA chief of staff Mr. Michael Oseke onusu ewaha uko GFA Mr. Eugene Noble onusu ewa GFA communications department Mr. Patrick Akoto GFA mahu oba fefefe kokobisu ho ono ye technical advisor to the sports minister onansu sine national coordinator for national wellness recreation program ayenawe honorable former member of parliament for Kintampo Afan Plains sorry honorable Betty Crosby Mensah onusu ewo ho GFA in fact ministry PRO honorable Ahmed Isa esu ewaha head of protocol ewo ministry sports ministry no ewaha Madam Dana so any PA to the sports in fact GFA president's wife onusu ewaha nti ebusapenyi the former national youth organizer the boss any honorable Kofi Adams just what say honorable Kofi Adams lead delegation abechi ebusiano osion twins na the office nti honorable CD Abubakar so eka delegation ho ni amika say me Greater Accra regional deputy youth organizer ma NDC no Greater Accra ha within the Gideon Hammond nti usacha me chao yeah that's it
yo ansana Ewura Kofi Adams bekasana nsema se wefi na tsan ko fanchi monya michiai mamuchi
Sports Minister Channing, Michelle, any more. It's a share one, I say. Did you be a crater? Ah, waha. Said you, Obiaba, Yaman, who some cacro, person, or true. Na a bush or person or shed a bush of phone call or shed man crank. It must slow and did you more. So Bama minister will be big a class or betra na quinda ho. Quinda.
Was actually the best say GFA president Betro whilst the sports minister will be addressing the family that we can freestyle.
Yo, medase. Lua. Okay.
Ebusua chami wɔ hɔ. Betie ama ato ebusua ɛne adɔfo a yɛhyia mu ɛwɔ ha. Sɛ asɛm no menhu beebi a mɛhyɛ aseɛ den efiri ɛne koraa beebi a wode bɛkɔ ewie. Anyɛ in the last few weeks nkɔmmɔdi a na yɛdi arrangement a yɛyɛ ɛne nhyehyɛ a yɛbɛfa ho ayɛ yɛn papa ne 5th anniversary. Yɛn mu biara ankɔda nsɔre anaa nso daeɛ sɛ any such thing bɛtoyɛ. So like Gideon kaeɛ na menni ɔmem. So, you see, again, because now people were calling. Later, and I had confirmation, and so Masan Esisubium said it is true. Now, Yema Minu Sam dear, yet to me came ye because we be actual many pages that have not been written before. And yes, sir, Obi ye, and now offer on say, Miss me ye then me yedi. Obi clear, empty chapters, Emma Ochro, Bibi Etroho. And yes, our mind Ghana, ye were is shared debris. Ewa yen constitution a yetumi ka bi ekoba mpanyinfoɔ especially ɔmo a na ɔmo wɔ the PVUs a ɔmo represent ɛwɔ consultative assembly no ɔmo bɛka sɛ nhyehyɛ no bebree no epie firi ne hɔ ɛnɛ yɛ enjoy a lot of rights bebree a ɛwɔ yɛn constitution no ma ɛnɛ nkorɔfoɔ tumi de kɔ court ɛka sɛ under the constitutional democracy no may yɛ entitled to this no you trace it to her. The BBA no one year no just isolated. The BBA was connected. You will see a connection. Open say or empower ma. 1 year no keke say you are being empowered. Musumun take economic charge. Na munton adie. He knew the children must also be given education. And then you see markets you see crèche. So that abofano here then hane mami abofano so be yin we say school here then ehia and almost 1,000 of such schools across the country. We are young but we've read me Manteda say a first lady Besha Wellington boots akwa kwaye Ama Maiswe say we can also farm. It was taboo sometimes for women to own farms in some areas. But or demystify is ADA. And today many young persons, many have become professors out of such initiative. As for the Ankasame Party NDC, the one sent at the Hawkley. That if our late former president was the founding father, then she was a founding mother. Our first office at Paloma, or no, any Dr. Yawobeda Samoa, were the people who secured that facility for us. Me, we share my colleagues, Bibre, Ewo, secondary school, I must say, oh, when they hear, they don't think that it is the same me. Because I was that quiet and reserved type. My strength of public engagement emanated from her. So, and he said, sometimes unfortunately we don't celebrate people enough while they are alive. But that is how it is. That is how it is. It's as unfortunate as the truth is. But in a year only hono, I hope say ne papa bebrea oye we will celebrate her for it. Any challenger if you buy you be sua bibi efri that I can only pray say Yankopon say ma bibi ento untumi nye den ensuma na insua. So I know this death that have occurred ye bompa ye say Yankopon fa ne kra nsie yie no na ye bompa ye so say ebisuafo no emano especially God should give them strength. I know how it is. I've lost my biological father and mother, so I know how it is. It don't bring me up. Now you wish they were around. I know how painful it is. But we can only pray and ask, say, Yankopon enka ebusuafo no akuma. Now to be able to carry this weight on mine and ye Lucy Bibi Kessie. But let's learn from it. Let the way we treated her never be done to anybody. She served, she lived, she staged, and people benefited out of that. May her soul rest in perfect peace. Thank you.
Honorable Mura, the sports minister here, also with this year was soon my papa. And there will be a crime the brain. ɛkyɛ sɛ wokɔ constitution mu ne dwuma bebree a ɛgyina no so ɛna aba na sɛ bio sɛ nipa te ase a yɛtori bi wɔ a yɛnka ho asɛm ba na wɔbɛgyina ha akyerɛ sɛ nka nyɛ wode hyɛ no a nka ɔno sei nka ɔntumi nkasa bɛdwam nti ɔma yɛhyɛ den ɔma yɛyɛ akɔ
Michelle, your teaching near Robin Sophia and not Umuchi. And she remember more for say the NATO, more castle.
Honorable Minister, Jeffrey President, more council, name penny for a mobile hay. Mijina yebusiafo ananu edam ase na ensema waka no wa church nyemu said the na ya maame na Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings nyema oyeye na me sure say wetumi gyina ha enye kukudu eka no kwe edi adanse say na oyeye na no kwe yeah, nipa ti ase a o say yi na ye atanya hwe
Hello, you are watching Channel 1 TV. Just gone by pictures from the family home of the Rawlingses as mourners continue to troop into the home to commiserate with the family following the unfortunate passing of former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings last week. Earlier, Dr. Bawumia and his delegation were there, and then just gone by, you saw a delegation from the Sports Ministry led by Sports Minister Kofi Adams, who happened to be an aide to the Rawlings family some years ago. Up next on Channel 1 TV is Newsfeed. Hello to you again. This is Newsfeed on Channel 1 TV with me, Charles Osukumi. Coming up, Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana threatening nationwide strike over unpaid allowances. Also coming up in the bulletin, government urged to appoint substantive minister for defense to provide leadership in addressing emerging security threats across the country. In business, government records 30% treasury bills under subscription amid weak investor demand. And later in sports, MP for Ebura Asebu Akwaman Kese dismisses calls for the removal of Otoado as Black Stars head coach. So let us now settle for the details of the bulletin. And the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana has issued a stern ultimatum to the government demanding the full implementation of the National Labour Commission's arbitral award by the end of October 2025 or face a nationwide strike across all 46 colleges of education. In a statement dated October 27, CTAG expressed frustration over what it described as the government's persistent failure to honoring the binding arbitral award issued by the NLC on May 2, which sought to resolve long-standing compensation grievances amongst tutors in colleges of education. We've been joined via Zoom by the president of CTAG, Maxwell Bunu, to speak further to us on this matter. Thank you very much, Mr. Bunu, for joining us here on Newsfeed. I'm sure there's been some conversations ongoing before even the intent to declare the strike. What are these conversations that have gone on between your group and the government?
So much, my brother, and good afternoon to your viewers. The conversation between us and the government has largely been with GTEC and then the National Labour Commission. You recall that on 2nd January 2025, CITAC embarked on industrial action, pressing home its demands for the government to implement an arbitral award that we won from National Labour Commission on 2nd May 2023. The migration had taken place. However, there are other components of the arbitral award that needed to be implemented. We were given several assurances that this was going to be done, but as I speak with you, that has not happened.
Okay.
And my members are disappointed. Now, the conversation we had with National Labour Commission has got to do with some of the components that have not been implemented. That includes our all-year-round work compensation for additional duty performed in the year 2022, and also our 2022-23 BRA arrears that is still outstanding. And also some of our colleagues have been downgraded as a result of the migration. So meanwhile, these colleagues have worked in the colleges for some 20 years, 25 years. Some are also due for retirement. And as I speak with you, for the first, second semester that has passed, they have done the same work, performed the same duty as other lecturers in the colleges of education. So we reported this matter to National Labour Commission, and those issues are there for hearing.
Okay.
But our book and research allowance for 2023-2024, we agree with GTEC on 20th April at a meeting that we deserve this money as well, even though they disagree with some other ones that we were supposed to be paid. But for the 2023-2024, they agreed that they were going to collect data from all the colleges and then add it to the 2025 book and research allowance so that they pay it together. My brother, as I say with you, that did not happen. The 2025 book and research allowance has been paid, all right, but what we agreed with GTEC that they were going to add it, that has not happened. We made follow-up to the Minister of Finance just to get to know that GTEC failed to add the document that they had prepared to that of the 2025. Hence, we were not paid. We made several efforts, visited the Minister of Finance about 3 different times to have the issue resolved. It didn't happen. We later went to the Minister of Education to meet with the minister because we met him earlier and put the issues before him. But our subsequent meetings, we did not meet him, including his deputy, but we left the letters for them. And then later went to the Minister for Labor, Jobs and Employment, Honorable Rashid Pepo, and reported the matter to him also. He also promised that he was going to intervene. As if that was not enough, we just want to make sure that we have exhausted all the avenues. So we also placed a call to the chairman for the Parliamentary Select Committee on Education, Honorable and he also promised that they could have the issue resolved. As I speak with you, nothing has happened. So with all this, my colleagues are actually disappointed, disheartened, and the consensus is that until all these issues are resolved, we aren't going back to the lecture hall come 11th November when the colleges reopen.
So, I mean, so you're saying that if by 11th November these issues are not resolved, you are declaring the strike on 11th of November?
No. If you read our letter carefully, we have given the government up to the end of the month.
Okay.
But as law-abiding citizens of this country, before you embark on any strike, you must serve notice to National Labour Commission.
All right.
7 clear working days. So we have also incorporated that into our letter. So we have given up to 7th of November. But I'm only saying that colleges officially will reopen on the 11th, where the first, second, and third years are expected to come to college.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Maxwell Bunu is the president of the College of Education Teachers Association of Ghana. Let's move on away from education and focus on defense. Former Minister for Defense and Member of Parliament for Bimbilla, Dominic Nitiwo, has urged President John Dramani Mahama to immediately appoint a substantive Minister for Defense to provide leadership in addressing emerging security challenges across the country. President Mahama appointed the Minister for Finance to act as Deputy Minister, as Defense Minister, following the tragic death of Dr. Edward Omani-Boama in a helicopter crash on August 6, 2025. Speaking to journalists in Parliament, Dominic Nitiwo says the prolonged delay in naming a substantive Defense Minister will negatively affect the effective functioning of the ministry.
Deputy has held the fort for a very long time, but by the way our laws are and our constitution is, the deputy cannot act as a minister. It's the reason the president asks the finance minister to act. We all know the finance minister doesn't have time. And I think that it is time for the president to look for somebody and nominate somebody to take over. West Africa, terrorism and all other things are becoming too endemic. We are having peace, but we are always threatened by a lot of insecurity around. And I think that we need somebody who offers leadership. If he wants to elevate the deputy minister, he should do that. But if he wants to nominate somebody else, he should do that. I just think that the president should consider immediately bringing in a minister to step. That long delay is not helpful. It doesn't give a good impression about what the views he has about the ministry, the importance they attach to the ministry, and how he wants to go. It is his prerogative to name or not name, but I think that if you ask me, I would say that he should immediately look for somebody to take over that position.
We've now been joined on the phone lines by the Minister for Government Communications, the Honorable Felix Kwakye-Ofosu, to react to this very matter. Thank you very much, Honorable Kwakye-Ofosu. The minority's argument is that the Finance Minister, who is acting as the Defense Minister, is already burdened with the work of the Finance Ministry, and so he may not have enough time to work in the Defense Ministry. Therefore, there is the need for a substantive minister now.
Well, Honorable Nitiwo's concerns are noted, but I can assure you and the people of Ghana that the Finance Minister, who doubles as the acting Minister for Defense, is well and truly able to discharge whatever responsibilities have been assigned him by His Excellency the President. The President will in due course make substantive appointments.
Okay.
But up until then, we are confident that the Defense Ministry is in capable hands. And currently it is running smoothly and there have been no hiccups as I speak to you.
But, I mean, are there plans to appoint a minister? Are processes already started to appoint a minister already?
Of course, the process of appointing a minister is well known.
Okay.
It is nothing new. President Mahama is used to that. He's appointed many ministers. In his previous role as president between 2013 and 2017, he did same. Having assumed office in January this year as president again, he has appointed ministers. It's just regrettable and most unfortunate that this tragic incident robbed us of two key ministers in his government. But as and when the president is ready with the appointment, same will be communicated to the people of Ghana. But Honorable Nitiwo's concerns are noted. I don't think that he said anything untoward or out of the ordinary. Yeah.
I mean, Honorable, I know that the relationship between the President and the late Minister for Defense was a very close relationship. Is there difficulty for the President to appoint his successor? Is there difficulty there?
No, not at all. Not at all. President fully understands his responsibilities.
All right.
And whereas he had a close relationship with the late Dr. Edward Omani-Boama, the President is pragmatic and professional enough to understand that life must go on. So whatever needs to be done will be done to ensure that the Defense Ministry has the best of leadership.
All right.
And the policies that they implement contribute to the overall development of our country and ensure our safety and security. And so in due course, that announcement will be made.
All right. I'm grateful to you, Honorable. The Honorable Minister for Government Communications, Felix Kwakye-Ofosu, speaking to us about the appointment of a defense minister. The minority is calling for an immediate appointment for someone to head that ministry. You're still watching the newsfeed here on Channel 1 TV. I am Charles Osukume. Still ahead, gunmen kill 3, injured 2 others at Binduri. We'll tell you more shortly. Please stay with us.
Making and selling. In Africa too hard? Not anymore.
Afro quality. Buy African, build Africa.
I just want to hear. Welcome to season 2 of Play by Ear. Make some noise! This is the only show. All you need is your ear to win some cash. When I say play by ear, what you say?
Welcome back. This is Newsfeed on Channel 1 TV. I am Charles Osukumi. Let's bring you some more stories. And 5 people, including a radio presenter, were shot in the Binduri district of the Upper East region when unidentified gunmen attacked their residence on Sunday, October 26. 3 of the victims, including a 5-year-old child, died instantly, while 2 others sustained injuries and were rushed to the hospital. Among the injured is George Bukari, the manager of Binduri-based Max Empire Radio and TV. Residents say the attack is believed to be linked to the long-standing Boku conflicts, which has claimed multiple lives and displaced several families since it erupted in November 2021. Meanwhile, the Timpani District Director of the National Commission for Civic Education, Martin Mumuni, has called on the Acting Minister for Defense and the Presidency to call the military operations team in Boku to order following the alleged killing of a mentally challenged man. According to him, on Sunday, October 26, 2025, some military personnel reportedly stormed his family house in Daduri, a suburb of Boku, and shot dead a mentally challenged man. He explains that the officers allegedly ransacked the house in search of combatants but found none. They are said to have then opened fire on a mentally challenged Burkinabe national who had been seeking asylum in the house. Speaking to Channel 1 News, Martin Mumuni says his sister, who witnessed the incident, has been left traumatized. He is therefore urging the government to investigate the matter and ensure justice is served.
I think the military in Boku need to be called to order because yesterday at around 9 p.m., I received a call from my senior sister who is living alone in our house in Boku. And there is a madman living there as well. Then, according to her, then the military came in 3 trucks saying that she should get up, she should get up. So when she got up, they said people ran into our house with guns. I said, I'm lying, I have not seen anybody. That it is a drone that is giving them the directions. And she said, okay, if a drone gives you direction that people entered here with gas, I have not seen anybody. Then they decided to search all the rooms in the house. She opened all the rooms, they pointed the gun on his head, and they went round all the rooms. They didn't see anything, destroyed the ceilings. And my sister told them, this guy is a madman. Well, he's a lunatic, and he has been living here for more than 20 years. So what is it about him? They opened and called him. The man was lying down and didn't mind them at all. They shouted he was lying down and they just opened fire on him. That is our story. So I think the Interior Minister, the Minister for Defense, the Presidency, and whosoever is a stakeholder in this matter, the Parliamentary Caucus on Defense, Committee on Defense, need to wake up and bring these military people to order. We will take the matter up no matter what. I have called my senior brother in Accra, who is a lawyer, and he will see what to do about it.
The article. Now, the management of the Ghana TVET service has taken swift disciplinary action against 3 heads of technical institutes following credible reports of unauthorized fee collection and extortion in their respective institutions. The affected schools are the Aguna Swedro Technical Institute in the Central Region, the Sinyain Technical Institute in the Bono Region, and the Madina Technical Institute in the Greater Accra Region. According to a statement from the Ghana TVET service, the allegations involve the imposition of several unapproved charges, including admission fees, boarding protocol payments, fees for changing residential status from day to boarding, fashion and practical item charges, bedsheet payments, and PTA-related levies. Management notes that these practices violate the government's free TVET policy, which guarantees free access to technical and vocational education, and run contrary to the service's directive promoting fairness and transparency in school admissions. Pending the conclusion of investigations, the heads of these three institutions have been placed on 30-day administrative leave with immediate effect. In some other news, the Gimpa Business School Association, as part of activities marking October as a Breast Cancer Awareness Month, organized a health walk to sensitize the public on the disease. Speaking during the health walk, President of the Gimpa Business School Association, Ohinere Nana Sewa Safweje, emphasized the importance of self-awareness and regular breast cancer checkups among women. She explained that the walk aims to educate the public on the importance of early detection and regular screening for breast cancer in order to avoid preventable deaths.
The business school decided to have this program because we have been doing it, but we decided this year that we will add the health walk to it to create awareness for people to know that breast cancer is real, and then early detection saves lives. So that's why we decided to have add the walk to it this year. So previously we have been doing it. We have been doing the talk shows and the screening and all that, and it has been successful. And we look forward to be doing this more. And then all we want to say is tell every woman in Ghana is that breast cancer is real. We have to take care of ourselves. As we give out love as women, we have to love ourselves, be aware of ourselves, know any unusual thing about our body, and then report early, because early detection saves lives.
Well, this is the news feed here on Channel 1 TV. Next is business with Nashika Caesar. Hello, Shika. Good to see you. How are you?
Likewise. I'm good. How are you doing?
What do you have in your bulletin?
Right now, the government's short-term borrowing efforts came under renewed pressure last week as it missed its Treasury bill target by 30%, raising 4.76 billion Ghana cedis against a planned 6.82 billion Ghana cedis. Data from the Bank of Ghana show that despite a shortfall, all bids submitted were accepted, an indication of the Treasury's growing urgency to meet its near-term financial needs. Here's more.
A breakdown of the results showed that the 91-day bill dominated the auction, attracting bids worth 4.87 billion Ghana cedis, all of which were accepted. The 182-day bill followed with 785 million Ghana cedis tendered and taken up, while the 364-day bill recorded bids totaling 487 million Ghana cedis, which were also fully accepted. Yields showed a mixed performance across the short-term curve, with the 91-day bill declining slightly by 2 basis points to 10.67%, while the 182-day bill inched up by 3 basis points to 12.46%. The 364-day bill dropped by 5 basis points to 12.87%. Market watchers say the shortfall highlights mounting pressure on government's domestic financing plan, with the recent underperforming auctions widening funding gaps. According to Databank's fixed income analyst Wilson Zilevu, the Treasury's decision to accept all bids reflects efforts to ease liquidity constraints ahead of the upcoming budget presentation.
Now, the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, is urging the government to prioritize long-term policy planning to strengthen the country's economic foundations as Ghana prepares to exit its IMF program next year. According to ISE, successive governments have often relied on short-term fixes to address fiscal and macroeconomic challenges, an approach that has left the economy vulnerable to external shocks and clinical stability. Speaking to Channel One Business News, Director of ISE, Professor Robert Dakwose, stressed that a clear, consistent long-term policy direction is essential to sustain growth.
And the geopolitics today is such that it's not just USA that has pulled out. Other big donors have pulled out in terms of research funding. So what happens? We wait. And then if the unfortunate such as COVID happens, and then we say, oh, we are poor countries and so somebody should come and help. Malaria has been with us for how many years? How much are we investing in it? So I think that the choice for us is very clear. We can opt for the short-term things, right? Which will have no long-term transformative impact. Or we can then choose the right path in terms of how we can transform our development. The things which IMF says to us that we must do, I will challenge you in the media. Take, say, the last 10 years of the State of the Ghanaian Economy report. You would find those recommendations in the State of the Ghanaian Economy reports.
And that's it for business. I am Nashika Caesar.
Next is sports with Gabi Ofe. Charlie, what's up?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm all right. What do you have?
Yeah, so Otto is in the mix. He's still in the conversation. Some people say that we should take him to the World Cup and then we can judge him after. That's where you belong, right?
Yes.
I always belong to that section too.
All right.
Right, let's get into it. And Member of Parliament for Asebu Krama, as Secretary, that's Felix Kwachi Ofosu, has described calls for dismissal of Black Stars head coach Otuado. Now, he said this in Parliament when asked about Black Stars' head coach Otuado taking the national team to the 2026 FIFA World Cup in the USA. Now, this is on the back of several questioning the stance of Black Stars head coach to lead the senior national team for the USA, Canada, and Mexico.
For the dismissal of the coach who guided us on this qualification path. Mr. Speaker, I believe that these calls are a bit unfortunate and they are misplaced, because the man who has guided us to this qualification in stellar fashion is best placed to prepare the team for the competition itself. Because the way national teams work these days, there's hardly any time for the team to camp for an extensive period in order to hone their tactics and prepare for the competition itself. So it would be a tragic mistake to dismiss the coach and hire a new person who will have very little time to prepare the team. The competition is in about 7 months, but in between that period, the team will not be camping for more than 3 or 4 occasions. And that time is simply too short for any experimentation.
Now away from the Black Stars, ahead of the second leg clash against Egypt's Cleopatra in the 2026 WAFCON qualifiers of the Accra Sports, the Black Queens have threatened to boycott the second leg tie on Tuesday, October 28th, over unpaid bonuses from the 2024 WAFCON in Morocco. Now, reports suggest that the sports minister has yet to give the team any assurance on when the outstanding payments will be made. Now, to shed light is the Women's FA Cup Committee Chairperson, Rosalind Amokrama, joining me to talk more about what will be happening later tomorrow. Hi, Rosalind. Thank you so much for your time. How disturbing is this news for the Black Stars, the Black Queens, especially on the back of beating Egypt 3-0 all the way on their home soil and going into the second leg, and the Queens threatening to boycott that second leg tie because of that unpaid bonuses?
Well, thank you very much. I think on this note, I would like to speak as a journalist and who has followed women's football for a very long time, and not necessarily as the chairperson of the FA Cup committee. We were all hoping that we would have been spared this kind of ordeal. I mean, this is the 30th year, and I'm surprised that even since 1995 up to date, issues about unpaid bonuses, whether per diem or winning bonuses, continue to come up and mar the beautiful story the Queens are writing. We don't know the assurances that have been given, but I am reliably informed that today the FA president has gone back to hold extensive meetings and has actually pleaded with the Queens to get back to training. And so hopefully this afternoon they are likely to return to training. But I mean,
All right, so bring some more updates on regarding the Black Queens game against Egypt later tomorrow. Away from that, former Manchester United player Gary Neville says the Premier League title race is Arsenal's to lose after the league leaders opened up a 4-point gap at the top and their direct rivals continue to falter. Now, on the weekend, Arsenal, unbeaten since August, registered their fourth straight success, with Liverpool, Manchester City and Chelsea all losing, meaning the Gunners' closest challenges are currently Bournemouth.
Arsenal fans, I see said that basically that's just me applying pressure to them. It's not applying pressure to them. I've actually had Arsenal to win the league the last 3 years. This is the fourth on the bounce that I've had them to win the league. But they're not necessarily miles better than last year, but they're repeating their levels of consistency. And that's all they're going to have to do this year to win the league. They're not going to have to go and get 100 points. They're not going to have to go and get probably even 90, 95 points to win the league. I just think they're going to have to basically get to the levels that they can achieve. Mid-80s, high 80s will win them this title. And they can do that. The words I mentioned before about the other teams, inconsistent, unreliable, that's not this Arsenal team. They're very reliable. You can trust them. The way in which they defend is fantastic. They're all around each other. They don't concede goals. They've got a threat up front in multiple areas. They've not got a sensational centre forward, but they've got a battering ram up there who's honest as a day is long, and that I think can work for them. But they've got Eze, they've got Saka, they've got Madueke, obviously, who's not in at the moment, Martinelli, Trossard. They've got lots of players who can contribute goals. They've got Rice, who can obviously delivering set pieces. They've got 4 fantastic fullbacks and 3 excellent centre-backs, and Mosquera's come on again today and they've not seen a drop in performance. So there are a lot of very good things going for Arsenal.
And that's the very latest in the world of sports. I am Gabi Ofer.
And that'll be all for this edition of Newsfeed on Channel 1 TV. I am Charles Osukumi. Thank you for watching.
Hello there, grateful that you chose us. Thank you so much. This is Breakfast Daily on Channel 1 Television. It's time for the news review segment. We're going straight into the conversations. We have a lot to discuss this morning. Hopefully we're able to make judicious use of our time. Let me quickly say good morning to Dr. Palgrave Boachid Dankwa of the New Patriotic Party. He's a lecturer at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, UPSA. And Elvis Dakon is the editor of the News Center newspaper, newscenter.com. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's good to have you.
It's good to be here.
Yes. All right. We're starting on a sad note. On Thursday, if you like, we lost the mother of the Fourth Republic, if I can put it that way. Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings passed on at age 76. We continue to commiserate with the family, our condolences to the family, and we pray that the good Lord himself will keep her in his bosom. But, Doc, let me start off with you. I mean, when the name is mentioned, what comes to mind? Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings.
Nana, very good morning to you, and very good morning to your listening Ghanaians. Let me first congratulate City FM. I noticed and recognized that you had an event in Tamale, which is really good. The inclusivity within which your network is moving around the country is really commendable, and I must commend your team. And also congratulate your new leadership that you have in place. Yourself, my good friend Sami Wiafe, Nana Kwabena, Fred Jadbano, who always makes sure that I'm here in the morning. And I mean, I'm glad that you have one female, Zoe Abudebu. So congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, let me immediately send my condolences to the family, send my condolences to the Ghanaian people. Definitely Ghana is mourning. And we're mourning on a sad note, but also on a very triumphal journey of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. For me, as I consider her in this Fourth Republic, I would consider her as a trailblazer in Ghanaian politics. And you are aware very well that she's etched her time really in the fabric of Ghana and would continually be remembered by the good people of this country. As we reflect upon her life and journey, I'm certain that Ghana has gotten to a place where a number of her aspirations has been achieved. We have in this country the first female vice president, and clearly you are aware how Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings distinguished herself as an individual beyond being the first lady of the Republic of Ghana, the longest serving, starting up the 31st December Women's Movement, which was clearly to affirm the fact that women have a role and women have a place in our Ghanaian polity. She hammered in that very well in the startup of her own political party, NDP. You would have ordinarily thought that as a wife of a former president, I mean, her journey should come to an end when the presidency of her husband comes to an end. But she felt that there was more that she could do, and continually she edged up for more, which is why she set up the NDP. And she wrote a book, very, very excellent book that I've read back to back. It Takes a Woman. Clearly you see that women's role are important. I chanced upon some interviews that were done about her and how she recounted the fact that she was going for a loan in a bank, and they asked that she either brings the husband. So it was almost like a country that had been built on patriarchy, and she demystified that. And so today, if you are a young woman who can be able to access loan, is credited to some of the works that Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings has done. And we would miss her dearly, miss her fortitude, her resilience, her standing up for women's rights and speaking up very clearly. She has been a great example of a couple because she stood very strongly with her husband all throughout the PNDC era, all throughout the AFRC. She's been a very formidable woman. And for me, I would consider her and her husband, both of them of blessed memory, I consider both of them as good examples in terms of marriage, publicly from what we saw, standing with your husband, and the husband also standing with her, because you realize that the husband didn't stand in the way of the pioneering of the NDP, fully gave his blessing for the wife to be able to flourish and live out to her God-given desires. And so it's a very sad day for Ghana. It's a very sad day for Africa. She epitomizes all, and a great model and a great example that we will continually remember when we mention her name. And may her soul rest in peace. Our deepest condolences to the family. And I'm glad as well that the daughter senator is in parliament. And so if you look at all the journey, you clearly would see that her footprints are loud to ignore. And for me, as I think about Dr. J.B. Dankwa, who is considered the doyen of Ghanaian politics, I will consider Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings as a trailblazer in Ghanaian politics.
Very well, very well. I agree entirely. But Elvis, I mean, we can remember Nana Konadu for a lot of things. Her politics, her philanthropy, her advocacy, you name it. But what's that major thing that stands out for you when you remember Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings?
Well, I'm also to take the opportunity to congratulate all the new leaders of Channel 1 and
thank you.
And then you going up there to also try and open the country up for business, actually to make sure that business thrives in every part of the country, especially that part of the country where a lot of potential exists, but we have not been able to take advantage of it. And I think Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, I think it's only last week that we're discussing Alan, and I was like, I was sad that when she stood for elections, the women of Ghana did not show support for her, because to me, what she's done for women in this country, no single person can boast of any such record compared to what Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings had done for women in this country. And that's why when she stood for election and people didn't vote for her, I felt a lot of pains, because I believe that the women should have said, this is somebody who actually cares about us, and therefore we should show some gratitude. Clearly, we've seen first ladies in Ghana, across Africa, and around the world. And it's only few first ladies that are able to stand out. And for me, what Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings has done in this country, I believe that if she was the first lady for any European country, or in America, or any of the advanced countries, she would have been made like a global personality for women empowerment. She did so much for women in this country, but as usual, it's Ghana, it's Africa. So it's like we've not really recognized what this woman did.
Right.
A wife of a military leader who decided that that position should not just be about loading herself around and driving in big cars and then holding big bags and then enjoying herself. But she decided that it should benefit the female gender, because there seems to be a disparity, a wide gap between the male and female gender. And she had just set up an organization. And that organization, what I like about it is the economic empowerment aspect of that organization. How to make sure that women in rural communities are able to engage in basic business activities so that they can earn a living. They can support their children. They can support their husbands to take care of their kids. For me, it's like the biggest thing I've seen in this country by a single individual who is interested in people's well-being economically. And I think that, as I said, we've not celebrated her well. If you look at her life and journey to where she's gotten to, she did something that every Ghanaian needs to say thank you. Look, I believe that she played a major role in Ghana having an interstate succession law. She played a major role in Ghana having an interstate succession law. I believe that she played a major role to ensure that there were women who played key roles in the government of Jerry Rawlings, even when it was a military leader. Because if you look around, as military leadership is largely dominated by men, you hardly will find women playing critical roles in military regimes. But if you look at Papa J's military regime, even though military, you still see women at very important positions. It's not like a men thing. We have gone to do the coup and we are the one who must govern. And if you look at it throughout, even to 92 elections to all the way to 2000, you see that even in the government of that NDC led by Jerry Rawlings, women were at very important positions. And if you look at the interstate succession law, I believe that that law has done more for women in this country than any other law. Because until the passage of that law, women had no recourse when husbands decide to deal with them in a very bad way, when husbands pass away and families decide to take everything away from women. There was no legal recourse for you at that time, because we say everything is rooted in our culture, and therefore the culture takes precedence. So that single law made sure that women are no longer treated in that manner. And if you decide to take on the family or a man who is trying to outreach in a certain way, the courts are there to help. And I think that law in itself, I believe that this woman had a very big hand in it, and that law has changed the status of women in our society significantly up to today. And I think that the Nana Konadu deserve credit for that.
Right.
And as I said, even after all these things, somebody said, and I agree, even at the time the Beijing conference was held, there was no social media. But because of her advocacy, everybody in Ghana knew about the Beijing conference.
Yeah.
Everybody knew about Beijing conference simply because there's no single speech Nana Konadu will give and she will not mention the Beijing conference and how the ideals of that conference have the potential to transform the lives of women. So I think that, so me in Africa, we are talking about a transformative first lady in Africa in the past 30-40 years. If you ask me, I think Nana Konadu stands out above all. Based on all that I have recounted, I think we are talking about a transformative first lady who is not sitting there to say, my husband is president, I'm supposed to be just following my husband around, but decided to take on duties and responsibility on her own to make sure that she leaves behind a certain legacy, and a legacy that will forever live on in this country, because we are talking about the first person to think about economic empowerment of women in such a large scale in this country. It was Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings.
Right.
We are talking about the interstate succession law. It's about Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. So I believe that we've really not honored her when she was alive.
True.
And now that she's passed, I think that the nation needs to do something significantly to honor this woman, so that it will set the precedent that if you are a woman and you are a first lady and you are able to make that significant impact in the lives of people of this country, you will be recognized. And I have said that probably if I were one of the children, maybe either revive 31st December Women's Movement, because it's about economic empowerment. Forget about people said, oh, it's a coup day. What do I care about a coup day? If there's an association that emanated from a coup or a day, but its focus is to transform the lives of people economically, what has that got to do with the coup?
Yeah.
You should look at what that organization is.
The benefits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, unfortunately, even though she went after government, it's like she herself didn't have a lot of active participation in the testifying. Or they can decide to set up a CSO or an NGO that is focused on women's rights, women's rights and women's empowerment. Right. Her name needs to be inked in gold in this country when it comes to issues of women empowerment. And for me, I salute her, and I think every Ghanaian needs to salute Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. And I hope and pray that we give her the befitting burial and a befitting memorial that will live long to keep all that she has done in the minds of generations to come. Because for those who have not witnessed it, if we don't do anything memorable for her, the generation to come may not even remember her. But I think that would be unfair if the generation to come fail to remember her, because whatever they will be enjoying in the future in terms of women's rights, empowerment and everything started significantly with her.
Thank you, Elvis. Let's say good morning to Elikem Kotoko. Elikem, welcome. Good to have you. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you all.
Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, and unfortunately we've lost her. We're extending our condolences to the family.
Yeah.
I mean, you are of the NDC fraternity. Yeah. Quick thoughts.
Yeah, thank you, and good morning to everybody. This whole news came as a great shock to many of us across the entire political divide and the nation as a whole. Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, a name that will forever be written in the annals of history of Ghana. And what a stalwart. Indeed, I also agree that we have not celebrated her enough.
True.
But is she the only one? No. It is just in the nature of Ghanaians. We like to glorify dead people. And I find it very troubling that as part of our culture, I don't know if it is enshrined in us, but as part of our culture, we rather glorify people when they are past and gone, not when they are alive. And that is very worrying. It takes nothing away from all of us here that, for instance, when she was alive, there could be a day the media will decide to take up a story and decide to just look at this person. Somebody will just write about that. Somebody will just give a lecture about that. We have our schools. And it is why our history is very important.
True.
We sit here, and if I talk of the Irish Revolution, the French Revolution, the Cuban Revolution, people around this table or watching us can tell everything succinctly.
Exactly. Yeah.
But talk about the Ghanaian Revolution, then it is thrown to the dogs, it becomes politics, and nobody wants to even talk about that. We should shelve it and put it under wraps because that is the Ghanaian one, it is a dark day. It is part of your history and you can't do away with it.
Yeah.
So these are things we need to learn. I recall, I very, very sad and shameful to say on my side that she wrote a memoir. It Takes a Woman.
It Takes a Woman.
I recall buying that of Michelle Obama.
Okay.
And I recall publishing this one and making the effort to take her own as well too. And I haven't been able to read much, but I am glad I did. And this is just to tell those out there, at least she has put something there as well.
Exactly.
A memoir titled It Takes a Woman. And you can never write the history of Ghana without the name Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. It cannot also be taken away from her that she was the most active, known first ladies that played a very strong complementary role in shaping Ghana. And I think for even a century ahead, if we are not careful, we may not have any of his kind as a strong women advocate, women and children advocate, who did not only advocate for women inclusion, involvement, and empowerment, but walked the talk. And with the establishment of the 31st December Women Movement, for instance, we all know the impact it had on many people across the length and breadth of this country. And this is somebody who knew what she was about. And she played a true complementary role to her husband, who was not always present and at home. So she was not only a national female icon, but a very proud and disciplined mother to the children at home as well. How she combined all these is another matter for another day. And it is why it is so shameful that as Ghanaians, may I reiterate again that we fail to appreciate people, but only do so when they are dead and gone. And her departure is going to leave a very huge vacuum in this country. And we all know the roles she played in diverse ways. She's human just like all of us. She may not have gotten everything right, but I believe that at the mention of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, it's hard for one to be able to pinpoint something that they would say negative about her. There may be rumors, for instance, like people say she's iron-fisted and all that. Look, when you are disciplinarian and strict or principled, it comes with such titles.
Indeed.
And it is something we must always know. And this is somebody, look at her children.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not trying to, but we've had some former, how do you call them? President's children who've been very, very wayward and grossly very, I don't know the right words to say it, but look at them, Dr. Zaneto, Amina, Yasantewa, Kimati. What bad news have you heard of them? What have you heard? Very disciplined, very, very, very comporting of themselves. And so it's so sad we've lost such an icon at 76. She doesn't even look 76.
Exactly.
She never looked 76.
Yeah.
I think she was going to be 77 in about some 3 weeks or so from today. And about celebrating another anniversary after we lost the former president as well too. My deepest condolences to the family, most especially to the children who automatically are orphans now as we speak. And they have demonstrated some strength so far, but we know that it is those who are talking to them are doing well, and I know that no matter what, it is not easy. Nobody wishes to be in that situation. And for the women advocates, I believe that, sincerely speaking, this may be a time for the children, maybe Dr. Zanet or Amina or Yasantua all together, to revive the 31st December Women's Movement. I cannot imagine any other major or significant advocacy program that sought to advance the empowerment and skills development of our women compared to 31st December Women movement. And and its properties or buildings are still dotted around the country where we can see visibly. Hundreds of thousands of people have benefited from that as well. And so we wish her well. We pray that the Almighty God grant her rest in peace. And if indeed there's life after death, then I believe that she and the Maker, and also with former President, will make up again.
Very well, very well.
And let's not forget that she was the one who started daycare for kids.
True.
For market women.
Especially in
underserved communities. That if the women are going to do business and they are busy, then they place to keep their children. What as the educational system, how did we integrate that into the educational system? See, so a lot of good things are happening around us. But instead of policymakers to sit and say, if Nana Konadu started this thing, it's really something probably we've not really looked at in the educational system. How do we integrate in this? Make sure that women need to go out there to fend for their families, but they are always disturbed by carrying their babies around. Even the wealth of the baby in the sun doesn't help. So if somebody has got this beautiful idea, why don't we make it her concept, add it to the educational system, so that we just will look at all these things and we'll look at all these years. Today there are so many communities, there's no daycare. Kindergartens are not there. And then we say we are building an educational system. Single-handedly, she's not an educationist. She's not the Minister of Education. But she realized that if I'm empowering women to go out there, work and help, their children, what happen when they have little kids? She was able to come out with the idea that then let's create daycare for them. This is a brain, somebody who the system should have recognized long ago, would have integrated this into our educational system. By now, every community will have a small daycare for women. But for children to go when their parents are going to the farm, the market, and other places. But as we speak, it's a problem. So you see, we have good things happening around us, but the policymakers are not looking at who in his or her small corner is doing something that if we are able to look at critically and integrate into a system and support will help all of us. This woman, as I said, we need to do something significantly that for the next 100 years, we will remember her forever. Because what she did as an individual and as an organization, she actually set up. Even our national system have not been able to put such situations in place. The numbers she empowered economically, Gary,
there's a mill somewhere.
A corn mill somewhere. She identified the basic needs that women can do that generate some income. You go to those communities, a woman that is actually operating the corn mill and grinding the cassava and grinding the maize for people, and then she was not thinking about we need a company that will employ 100 people, 200 people. She looked at the community and identified basic needs in those communities and the basic economic opportunity that can be exploited. This is our problem. Because we have failed to do this in a large scale, everybody thinks that unless you work in a big factory, unless you come to Accra, unless you go to Kumasi or Takoradi, you can't be employed. But this woman didn't look at it that way. She looked at it that in every community, there are economic opportunities people can exploit. But they don't understand how to do it. And they need a little support. So she identified basic things like this. Today, which specific institution of state is looking at identify economic opportunities in rural communities and empowering people to take advantage of it? There's a lot we need to learn from this woman initiatives.
And it only reiterates the fact that a revamp of the 31st December women movement will be in its right course. She was just such an effective and an efficient organizer. She understood what she needed to do. It didn't require rocket science. And above all, she demonstrated that the rationale behind influence is to impact. So she used her influence to impact greatly.
Yeah.
Not that I am Elikem, I am the deputy national organizer and you lord over people. I am this appointee and you I am that. No, but she indeed impacted something that is worth learning by many people. And I think an idol for many women, even in her death.
Very
well.
well.
Nana, many of us did not meet Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's wife. And many of us did not meet Yasantua. But I think that with the opportunity of living the lifetime of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, her fashion is bespoke. You know, when you see ladies who dress and put on belts, you know, Nana Konadu will sew her beautiful kente, and there's a belt of righteousness in her waist. You know, and that's very epic.
Absolutely.
And so to the Ashanti Kingdom as well, we send our deepest condolences.
And the promotion of local textiles.
Very much.
How do we use Nana Konadu in suits?
All her outfits were very
all her outfits are local,
very
Ghanaian
local.
fabrics.
You know,
An icon for the fashion industry.
Extremely
An icon
fashionable.
for our local fabrics.
True.
The woman, as I said, if we want to address this woman step by step in her life, every aspect of her life is something about Ghana.
She's a colossus.
It's something about Ghana.
A very good colossus.
If we do this
very
woman well,
colossus.
future first ladies will know that if they do things like that, they'll be remembered.
Yeah.
True. Very well.
But she was vocal as well.
Indeed.
Very
vocal. She was not quiet.
Vociferous,
And
fearless,
she won't
bold.
allow anybody to intimidate her.
You couldn't.
You know,
You couldn't.
She survived.
Indeed.
She's a big survivor.
Indeed.
We
should
hail
continue
her.
to rest in peace. And
Right
once
in
again, our
glory.
condolences to the family. Now, let's get into our senior high schools. The matter of discipline in schools. The Education Minister has defended the hairstyle rules, insisting no long hairs, no hairstyles. We'll cut our hair short in senior high schools. Elikem, you took your daughter to school when? This weekend?
Last weekend.
Last weekend?
Yes.
Yes. Share your experience. Let me start from you. Share your experience.
In fact, as a parent and a former child of a parent too, I find absolutely nothing wrong with children having to be put in the right way of discipline at this age. I am rather shocked at any person or persons who suddenly, out of the blue, want to all of a sudden champion a certain goal of rights, left or wrong, and democracy, and pardon my French, but all that nonsense. We have all been to school, haven't we?
Indeed.
Even when we were in primary schools, you were told where to cut your shorts up to. It doesn't have to go below the knee level, your dress, your nails. Look, I mean, let's stop this nonsense. And I am very passionate about things of this nature. If we are today saying that you cannot cut or trim your hair, tomorrow we will now be saying that you can leave your nails. The next moment, then there's no need for uniforms. What is the purpose of all this? It is aimed at instilling some form of discipline in our children in the basic, primary, junior, and senior high schools. That is all. It is not to enslave them, or it is to keep them disciplined so that they learn to be disciplined after a while. When you go to tertiary, there's all the freedom there. My daughter, Tonam, also had her hair, her natural hair as well. And she was always like, oh, she won't cut this hair. And I kept laughing always because at first she didn't know that when the time comes, she was
But
going
you
to
knew
do
this.
Yes. So, at the point, I had to again talk to her that, look, when it gets to this level, this is what has to happen. Then she was requesting that then she wants to go to a school where she'll be. But I had to rather explain to her that, look, it is not for anything. It is to ensure and instill discipline. I mean, it is not today that this is being instituted. It has been there long ago. So where from the proponents of free head suddenly, where are they coming from? And some are saying that, in fact, I don't know how true it is. I would have addressed it appropriately. I learned Rasmubarak was asking the minister what long hair has got to do. But the point is that, how are they going to even maintain these hairs in school? Because some of them have permed, I don't know how they call the various things, I only know of permit. And all of that, they use these chemicals, they go to a hairdressing salon. So every week or two, how will the children do that? They have to go or spend time sit with their colleagues to be trimming their hair and all of that. When you could just shape barber your hair, which is the simplest form of keeping your hair very neat. And I find it very worrying if this is also becoming a topical issue for us to be debating. It has no locus anywhere in our education. We know where we have come from. The purpose of secondary education, or from basic education to secondary education, is not only to give you that awareness, but it is also to make you very disciplined. So any parent who is losing sight of the fact that the purpose of education is to keep you disciplined, especially at the basic, junior, and senior high levels, is losing grounds. So we are doing this to ensure that the boy, the girl who we have sent to school knows that when they say, why is it that even their timetable is regimented? That you must wake up at this time, you must clean at this time, bath at this time, lectures or class starts at this time. When you close or you go for dining at so and so time, you go for prep at that time. At the tertiary, do we have that? No. Even you can decide to go for your lecture or not. If you feel that you are okay with what they are teaching, you can decide to be absent, but if you do well, that is up to you. So at the secondary school, let us stop this. These are still teenagers, for God's sake. These are still teenagers who do not know the best for themselves. And therefore, we as parents should not be the one now, more or less like pampering them to say that we wish they have their hair on. And this have some undue influences over all other people. It is the reason why the discipline of ensuring they all wear a same uniform, same sandals. I am one of those who have spoken again against restricting them to wearing maybe only black trainers to school and all that, because sometimes it's making these sellers rip us off with the price of black trainers. But it is to maintain discipline, so that, pardon me, if Elvis has a ward and Elvis is unable to afford this flashy lifestyle of dressing, and I am able to, and maybe he is also able to, they can all go to the same school knowing that the dresses they wear is the same.
Exactly.
The Achimota sandals they wear is the same.
And that would deal with any level of inferiority complex.
Inferiority complex. So that somebody doesn't come and bring instead of bringing a chop box, or how do you call it, a trunk. The person rather brings a suitcase. Somebody, you get that? We need to avoid.
There should be uniformity at that level.
Already. When it is time for visitations, trust me, some of these kids feel very sad. Either their parents or guardians don't visit them, or they do, but they see other people's parents visit, and they are in some very flashy car, and then they feel so that there's still that element. Let us not compound the problem by trying to say that today let them have their hair on. Then kids who are teenagers, how old are they? 14, 15 will come and be telling, this is a Brazilian hair, that is this. Or even if it is their natural hair they are doing, one will say that I do my hair at that expensive place. This one will say I do my hair over there. Then this one also say when I plait my hair it costs me this. Let us stop this nonsense.
I think it's a distraction.
Yes, let us stop this nonsense of glorifying such mediocrity as parents and as Ghanaians. They are very significant, proper matters for us to discuss. If there's nothing to discuss, let's rather even talk about our inmates in prisons who actually also deserve further increments, as the current government, President Mahama, has done, but they will still need more. There are street lights that are not functioning that we need to be talking about. There are roads that are being constructed that we need to continue to talk of its progress. People are unemployed and want jobs. And now we want to bring into the conversation our children who are teenagers, who are not in the best capacity to think for themselves. And we have parents wading into this debate to say, I want to keep my child's hair. It has no relation with education. It has every relationship with discipline and composure. And we must make sure that there's uniformity in our schools. And you see, already, when you even have schools saying they say this is category A, category B, I frown on that, for instance. You have parents whose children maybe perform badly at the last exams, yet they still want their award to be at the category A. And when you call me, what I'll tell you is this. Look, if your child couldn't make 6 ones or 7 ones or 8 ones, has gotten 24, and you want him or her to go and sit with those who made 6 ones, you are contributing to the failure of your child. Because you think that, oh, I want him to also go to Achimota. I want him to go to Wegehe. I want him to go to that high school. He or she will go to that school, but when they are teaching, he or she will not pick up quickly like those who are sharp. And so in the end, he will still be at the bottom. You are finished. A certain regional chairman went to a certain school which is very known in this country. But when he speaks, it's a bombshell. And we know that. So you get the example I'm talking about. And so it is not about the school name and all of that. It is your quality and caliber. Let us as a people be serious for once and take away the emotions and sensationalism about some of these things.
Bro.
It will be for our own interests.
Bro, Elvis, I've seen a lot of commentary about hairstyle not having a bearing on, if you like, the knowledge of the child or the child's education. And then there are those who argue that there should be uniformity at that level, for which reason there are prescribed looks, a prescribed attire and all that. Your thoughts on this?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I think that we just have to find out the rationale behind some of these arguments, okay? As far this issue is not today. Every year we come back to discuss this issue. It happens every year. The latest and most controversial was Tyrone Magai.
Yeah.
We all remember the issue of Tyrone Magai. So I think that it's like we are just going back and forth on the same issue. And GS will never tell you that this is what should be done, because what we are talking about is a norm. It's not a rule. It's not a GS rule that when children are going to school, their hair must be this, you must cut their hair, they must, no. It's a norm. So a norm is not legality. So what is behind the norm? And how does the norm help or defeat the purpose of education? I believe strongly that we are just overflopping this issue. The children are coming from different rooms with different upbringing, different financial status. I don't think education should limit you to certain things simply because you are in school. I rather think that what we should make it work is for parents to understand that, let your child understand that the school you are going to, your purpose is go and study.
Yeah.
Your purpose is not going to look at what somebody is wearing, and that if you don't have some, it becomes a demotivation. That's not where you are going there, because even after school, that child will still be far ahead of you financially. Nothing will change. So when parents are able to prep their children very well to understand that, even you going to secondary school, you are not working. Me as a parent, I can't afford to do your hair for you, so you will cut it. If a parent says, that's for me, I can afford to do your hair for you every 2 weeks, so go to school and I'll provide. That is also another thing somebody can afford. I think that when it comes to choices, we should just let the children understand that education is for you to go and do ABCD. Not for you to, it's not a fashion contest for you to go and be comparing yourself that, so this person has this person has that, and I don't have it, and I don't have that. And this idea of long hair, the question is, if the person has long, what is the impact on the person's academic performance? How does it affect academic performance if the person is having a long hair? If it's a short hair, what is the academic performance impact? All this nobody is asking. We are just making it back up. I believe strongly that if we allow the children to go to school based on the preferences of the children, if the parents, if the parent think, as for me, my child can keep one Ecolag, I don't want my child to use chop box, so I'm going to buy a plastic chop box so that the child will look very neat for everything. I think we should allow it. We shouldn't let the schools be bringing this kind of rules that create the impression as if a long hair will make you fail. I don't understand it. As for the indecent of short dressing, that we understand. But in terms of hair, I don't really understand why hair is an issue. I don't think that hair should be an issue at all in our schools. Because I don't see how the style of haircut I have will have any impact on my academic performance. So I don't think that this rule of chinchina, somebody must have this type of haircut and the rest, I don't buy into that. I think that we should leave that decision to parents. If a parent says, I can afford to buy, send my ward to the salon every 2 weeks to have the hairdo, and that's what makes my child feel confident and is able to do what she wants to do, let it be. If you're also able to convince your child and say, whether long hair or short hair doesn't matter, you be in the school and able to study and come out with flying colors is what matters. That is also important. So I think that psychologically, we are putting the children in a situation where we shouldn't put them. As if the haircut is a big problem. No, let the ability to afford be there. If you are going to school and your parents can't afford perm your hair, you are not the one who is going to perm your hair, right?
No.
Those who come with perm hair is because their parents can afford, that's why they came with it. So why are we trying to restrict them that everybody should look the same? And I don't really buy it. And 3 years after school, when they go to the university, nobody tells them what hair to cut. Does it have any impact on the education at the university level because they are allowed to put out any type of hair, shoe, and everything? How does it impact the education at the tertiary level? And if it did an impact, why is the tertiary not implementing similar reform? So I think that this issue should be seen from a perspective of every parent and what it thinks will make the child happy and make the child psychologically stable to study. Right. Because if the child felt like I need a long hair, you go and force the child. Psychologically, it may destabilize the child academic performance. Because if the child sees that short hair as demeaning, or you are forcing her to do something she doesn't want to do, and psychology its impact on her academic performance, the child may never be able to recover. And that will simply be because she felt that I need the hair. That's what makes me feel comfortable. So I am of the view that parents should be told that if you allow your child to come to school with hair, probably the long hair, we don't want it to be smelling among their college students. So the rule will be that every 2 weeks, the child will have to do A, B, C, D to keep the hair neat in a format that will not become, because excuse me, if the child has a hair and for 1 month is not washing it, at least it will be releasing some scent that will be a problem to colleagues. So if the parents say we will be able to go by that maintenance regime for the child's hair, I don't think that is an issue. So for me, this idea of hair or minus hair is not an issue. As I said, look at Tyrone Magai. At the end of it, look at her results after Wasi. One of the best. Okay. What was the problem with the hair when we talk about it? And after trade, the guy has one of the best results in this country, and it's now even some of the best universities out there. It didn't have any impact on the academic level. So why were we forcing that Magai must by all means cut the hair? Even the Magai story should be an example to all of us to say that this thing we are taking and making fetish out of it is needless. Our conversation should be, as the children are there, how are we able to help them academically to succeed? Elegant said if your child has 26 and you wanted to go to pre-sec, it depends on the circumstances. Because if a child that has gone to JSS in a very deprived school where they don't have enough teachers, teaching and learning materials are not enough, it's not because that child is not intelligent. It's because the resources needed to learn and teach were not enough. That child will come to pre-sec with 26, may become the overall best student. A lecturer of Legon told me that they had a student from one of the towns in Volta region, in one of the departments in Legon. She came with such a bad grade that they didn't want to take her. And then they told they should accept this girl because of the right policy. In the department, that girl ended up becoming the overall best student. Even though the grade she brought to Legon was the worst among all those admitted, she became the overall best student. I have a child I know who wanted to go to a medical school, was refused admission. We wanted to go to which was a new university. He didn't get it. Then we got somebody at UCC to help, and the guy got UCC. He's one of the best performing students in the class as we speak. When opportunity comes for students, the best student to go abroad, every year he goes abroad. But this is a child that, based on the grade he was going, they said he can't be a medical student. But when he was given the chance to compete with those who have the AAAs with the same opportunity, same teachers, same resources, is one of the best students that now he even is among those who are given the opportunity to travel abroad. So sometimes when we say a parent says the child has this grade and wants it to go to the best school, if that's the best thing a parent might do for a child, because the parent has recognized that my child's non-performance at the basic level is because of the school the child has attended, not because my child is not that brilliant. But if I'm able to give that child a category A school, when the child has access to the best of teaching aids and learning materials, that child can rise and compete with those who have better grades than that child from the secondary level. So sometimes from the GSS, so sometimes it's not only, so when we are using the grades alone, sometimes it's problem. There are very brilliant chaps who are coming from very deprived schools. But when given the chance to compete with those with the best grades in category A or B schools where they all have access to the same results. In 3 years, that same child will have some of the best results. I have a cousin whose child 3 years ago was sent to some schools. When we went to the schools, they said, no, these schools we don't take. Their grades were like 30-something, almost 40. We forced and took one to Bishop Herman. We managed to get one to Ola Girls. When they finished, they had very good, they passed all their papers.
Wow.
But with over 30 from JSS. But if we are taking them to the very schools that they were taken to, they may not even have 2 passes.
Yeah.
Because they are coming with a very bad background. And then the schools we were giving them were also having a very bad situation. So if you allow them to go there, the bottom line is that they will come up and will say these children, they are failures. Unfortunately, they're not failures. It's because of the schools they attended.
Right.
The resources were not there. So I think we have to look at these things more holistic. I think the last discussion we had, we said it. Yeah. We shouldn't always be looking at the academic performance. We should also look at so many other factors. That's why I said that let's upgrade President Kufuor policy of upgrade the schools and give them the resources they need. Instead of building more, yet they don't have the resources. Why don't we upgrade the ones that exist and give them the resources? For me, we should be rather focused on the most important thing than a trivial thing like haircut. I don't think it's really a discussion at all.
Look, you lecture in an institution that is very strict on, if you like, dress code and all that. I mean, we get to have this conversation every year. I always just mention that the most controversial and recent one is Tyrone McGuy. The arguments of health, that this hair may begin to smell, it may have lice in them. There are those who speak on even the psyche of the children in school, because we know that not all hair types are the same. Some may have curly hair, some may have thick, dark, long hair, and that might become a competition amongst themselves instead of focusing on their education and all. I mean, your thoughts?
You know, Nana, all of these scenarios and synopses that people are assuming. It's not been tried, it's not been tested, and so you can't have any variable of conclusion to it. But we're building a society. I am increasingly getting concerned. And this is what my concern is. I grew up in the barracks. Okay, my parents were not in the army, but my guardian was a colonel. He retired as a colonel. And growing up in the barracks, especially during the AFRC era and the PNDC era when we had gotten back from exile, definitely I can't train my children and discipline them in the manner in which my guardian disciplined me. And obviously, I won't use this platform to state some of the things that I went through. But we're building a society. From how I am seeing how we are doing our things, it's gradually becoming as though we are still in our medieval days. And we cannot be in our medieval days. I'm a parent. I have 5 children, 4 beautiful ladies, 1 gentleman. So you can imagine, as a young parent, living in Ghana, and the context of the fact that in the next few years, maybe in the next 5 years, my daughter is going to go to senior high school. And she keeps her hair because she goes to an international school. And if I want to continue to keep them in the international school, she can keep her hair. But if I want to bring them to the Ghana Education Service, education, then she would have to cut her hair.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, a lot of conversations has gone around the table. We must develop with the growing trends in this country. I listened to Professor Chinri Hesse, and she said that in the days when she was going to school, if you had sandals and one did not have sandals, you were told that you should remove your sandal so that you can walk barefooted. And it was a conversation of equity and equality so that all of us can be the same. But the generations have come on where clearly we have seen that we can all not be equal. And maybe we've not studied it empirically well because in the days when we were going to school, there was no advance of social media. In the days when we were going to school, we went to schools that we might not have liked and we might have cried, and so those emotions were not shown out there. We rebelled strongly against the educational system. Our grades were bad because we didn't like the school. We didn't study it much. But now we are gradually seeing that there is some studies that must be done. Obviously, there is no correlation with character formation. with cutting of hair. And it's troubling to see that in the 21st century, we continue to have this. About 2 weeks ago, this semester I'm teaching corporate governance. I brought in the lawyer of Tyrone Magai.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Gawuga. I brought him to the campus to come and give us a context of corporate governance and how that corporate governance principle affected Tyrone. Because in the days of the conversation of Tyrone Magai's case, it was clearly a corporate governance issue that Achimota says this should not be allowed. And I read the post that Tyrone put up last week. And I would like to re-emphasize it. And he said, there is a beautiful caution from the house I live in, which says that keeping your hair can and will impair your learning, force you against authorities, and influence you into hard drugs till you fail. I kept my hair, and obviously it failed me miserably. I remember scoring all Fs on my final exam. Now I'm homeless, uneducated, and incredibly useless. Please cut your hair before getting an education. Be different. Society cannot be judged under one lens, for it is not a single entity. It may look like we are chasing a valuable concept, uniformity, by forcing all students to keep a low cut. But what has uniformity got to do with equality? Rome wasn't built in a day, and I'm hoping someday we'll lay the first bricks.
You can tell the sarcasm and irony in there, but points well made.
Tyrone is in University of Pennsylvania. It's an Ivy League school. And so I'm sad.
Penn State.
Yes, he's in Penn State. It's an Ivy League school.
That's a huge
I am sad that Ghana, we are continually doing what we are doing. And look, the day I went to Adisado College, my first day, I went in a peace goer to Adisado College. When I got there, my seniors were there, who were also barracks boys. They asked me what I ate in the morning before I came to school. I told them I ate oats, which was true, Quaker oats, the tin one. Okay. The next day, do you know what I ate in Adisado College? Ekwe bemi. I've never eaten that before. Okay. But, and so the fact that I eat oats in my house doesn't mean I should not have oats in a secondary school. Okay. So I'm thinking that we really need to apply caution. Of course, it bewills on the parents. It also bewills on the school. You can imagine how traumatic it has been for homes. My children are discussing it at home. So that is what's going to happen to me. They are discussing it. Okay? In recent times, they are asking that they go to, what's the name of this school? Is it DPS?
DPS.
Delhi Public.
Why they cannot cut their hair. You understand? And if my little finances cannot afford it, it means that I have to send them to a school where I can afford. So let's have a nationalistic conversation. We will plead with the, like Elvis said, it's a norm, it's not a rule, but we'll plead with the Minister for Education. He has a clarion call to bring an innovative transformation into this system. I can imagine black people who are studying outside of this country, who are looking into Ghana and seeing that we are still being medieval in our thinking and in our ways of doing things. And I pray that this young girl in Yasantua school will have the courage and the confidence to continue studying. She would have the support. And if they are counselors, they should give us some counseling support, because her video has gone viral. Ordinarily, it wouldn't have been so when we were growing up, but now it is. And so it's become a national conversation. Okay, that she would have the support that she would need. When I was at the University of Ghana, one of the research that I did for my sociology major was that we should look at the academic performance of students in examination centers. Why did I do that research? I did that research because I felt that if you write exams at Great Hall, okay, your performance is different from writing exams at Tinge, which is the JBQ, or writing exams at N1. Why did I come to that conclusion? I came to that conclusion because the supervisors at Great Hall is more stricter than the supervisors at N1 or the N block or even JBQ. And so sometimes you are intimidated.
Right.
So even the fact that you could perform well, when you are writing an exam at Great Hall, you are scared.
But if you're writing an exam at JBQ or you're writing at N1, you're more relaxed. So I did that observational analysis and that observational studies. We need to be able to do an observational study and analysis on this. I felt that Tyrone Magai landmark case and the context that lawyer Agawuga brought to me and the students clearly should have served as an example that we should take it on case-by-case basis and allow our students to grow with the courage and the fortitude that they need.
Very well. Let me take a break here. When I come back, I'll read your messages and then we continue with the conversations. This is Breakfast Daily on Channel One TV. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you banked like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Fresh and safe. I'm holding my burn-up bottle. No plastic seal, no worries. Open and hear the sound like that sound means it's fresh, no trick. No plastic seal, but it's still pure. Cool and clean, you can be sure. Verna leads the brighter way. What takes my doubt away? If it clicks, it's Verna. If it clicks, it's clean. Sip it, feel the difference. Verna water, pure and green. Click, open, sip. Click, open, sip. Chalet Verna. No stress, just sip. Stress, just sip.
This advert is FDA approved.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa, dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late, of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go be the luckiest. Copy from your job be luckiest. From not the block, she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be that luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God the apple boom. If you put it with so would the coming of the Son of Man be.
Hey!
Is that his car?
Everywhere.
Dial star 712 #. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Grateful that you stayed on with us. This is Breakfast Daily, live on Channel 1 Television. A few of your messages and then we can make progress. Our Hajj Ahmed from Nima says, it is a shame and we must stop this practice. When Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings was alive, some people, especially in the NDC, maligned and attacked her integrity at one point in time. These same people are today eulogizing her with sweet words when she's no more. Political hypocrisy in the NDC must stop. Okay, this one says, good morning, I am Okai from Bantama in the Sene West District. If cutting hair brings discipline, Ghana would have been like heaven by now. Immediate use of mother tongue in schools, it will surely enhance teaching and learning experiences. But what about teachers who don't understand the language of the students, especially in northern or northerner posted to teach in a southern part of the country? We wear what they wear, eat what they eat, speak the way they speak, and get it done the way they want. In Ken we trust. Okay. Enoch from Afenya says, let's encourage discipline in our schools and stop the unnecessary debate of the haircut. We go to school to learn and not to display beauty. Period. Let's cultivate the good things of the Westerners and not the bad ones. Mr. President, PSC Temashipyard is still reminding you of their board. Okay. Regarding the minister's directive to use local languages for instruction, in Guan, we have the following dialects that make up the Guan or Buem language. Likpe speaks Sekpele or Sekua. Akpafu and Lolobi speaks Siwu. Santokofi speaks Sele. All these are spoken within the Guan district. The challenge, however, is that most teachers from KG to P3 do not speak these dialects. They mainly speak Ewe, which has become the common lingua franca in the area. So the question is, which language should they teach in? The children speak their various dialects at home, yet the teachers may not understand them. What kind of Magana is this? And by the way, how do we even say a lion has a tail and a big head in Sekua, Sekbele, or Akpafu?
Who is going to answer that question?
Oh, Lord. This one says, okay, he's greeting good evening because he's texting from Sydney, Australia. In fact, I don't understand why some parents want to allow their children keep long hairs to school, while these same parents went to school without keeping long hairs. Is it because of modernization? We are blacks and we are copying everything Western, even their hair color. God help us. Nelson in Sydney, Australia. For once, I disagree with Elvis. As a teacher myself, I can confidently say that keeping hairs at that level significantly affects their performance. Women generally are more interested in their appearance, and that is likely to affect their output in class. Big Boots from Tema sent that one in. This one also says, good morning. I disagree with Mr. Dako's submission on the issue of hair in schools. Getting students to cut their hair is an issue of instilling discipline in these kids. Are we going to be happy as parents if our kids turn up to school with all kinds of crazy hairstyles? Let us not allow things that are not part of our norms. We are gradually allowing so many things that are not right, and that is why indiscipline is high. Ghana's education is just declining. Kofi from Accra. The big question to those who support the short hair is, why are foreigners who come to our schools allowed to keep their long hair? Don't they also need to be hygienic, etc.? Okay. So these are a few messages that have come in. Keep yours coming and we'll do our best to read them. Elvis, a few came to you disagreeing with your position.
Yeah, so see, the question, see, this is the problem we have. To attribute whether short or long hair
to academic performance.
It's what the problem is. You understand it? Because somebody, it is long hair rather will make the person perform.
Yes.
Because that is what make hair feel confident. So if you are taking that confidence away from the person and emotionally it affects the person may rather perform badly. So you see, as I said, we should let the responsibility go more with parents to explain to their children that going to school is about academic work. Whether hair is not a fashion show you are going to. So just live a modest life. If parents instill certain principles in their children from home to school, these things we are talking about will not happen. You see, so let's also understand that you think that the short hair will make somebody perform. But if the short hair is the person's confidence and you are cutting it, it will make the person fail. So you are seeing it from your perspective. But what about the affected individual? What is the person's perspective on the issue? So this is why we shouldn't make it a fetish issue and say this. As I said, if we let the parents decide, that's why I commend my brother Elikem. I saw his post on Facebook where he said he just spoke to the daughter and said, you know, A, B, C, D. So don't worry, 3 years will come soon. When you get the investor, you want to keep a long life, nobody is going to stop you. This is what I expect from parents. That's what we were discussing backstage.
Yeah.
See, one problem we are having is that the children are living home to a complete different environment.
Indeed.
But it's like psychologically, we have not been able to prepare them as parents well before they go there. And then when they go there, they get a culture shock because they are used to doing things in a certain way in their homes.
Yeah.
And then they come to school and the school says, you can't do that. And the child will find it difficult to understand why the school is saying, I can't do what I am doing at home freely. So I think parents need to understand that schools have put in place certain regimes. And before your child goes to school, try and educate the child and say, you do all these things at home for free, but you are going to a regimented environment which is a school. You may not have the opportunity to do A, B, C, D. Don't take it as punishment. Just accept that that's an environment for the next 3 years. After that, when you get this invested, the thing is different. But these are young people. This is their first experience. They don't even know what to expect. Most of the children, when you take them to school campus, they are even asking what is going to happen. Even when their parents are moving their car, some of them want to cry because they are asking, how am I going to live here without my parents? Because you see, so psychologically, I think we need to do something about how we prepare children when they are going to secondary school, when they will no longer see their parents and siblings on daily basis. They are going to mingle with different group of people and live there for the next 3 years. I think we need to do something before we send them back. Truth of the matter in Ghana, most parents will not have any talk with their children. You got admission, we bought you the things, get ready, tomorrow we are going to school. They carry the child, they take the school, they register, they leave the child, and they go home. So how do you expect that child not to have psychological issues?
Indeed.
You understand? So we need to do more. It's not about any legal enforcement. It's rather will be a voluntary thing on the part of parents to understand that if your children are leaving you for the first time and are going to live somewhere independently without you, you have a duty to understand that this child may go and may not understand certain things. What kind of information can I give this child before the child goes out there? Even if you need to get a teacher to come in and talk to the child that when you go to secondary school, these are some of the things you are going to see which you don't see at home. And if they happen to you, don't take it serious. I was saying something. Children go to school thinking that the food they are going to eat will taste like home cho. That food is a huge food prepared, not your small food that is prepared for 3 or 4 people in the house. So the taste and the,
of course, the quality won't be the same.
And taste are different. When you are used to eating your parents' food, they have their own recipes of food. That's why food differs from one home to the other. So that child is used to that taste of the parent. And they go to the school, the food they have cooked is opposite the taste of the parent. It's going that the food is not good at all because it's not counsel that child to understand that people have different recipes for cooking. My recipe is what you are used to because you've eaten it all your life and the taste bud is my food. Now when you go out there, you may go and eat something and the taste bud is completely opposite. It doesn't mean that the food is bad. It's only the taste bud and the recipes that are different. All these things you need to tell the children. So I appeal to all parents, let's learn from this experience that when our children are leaving us to a certain environment for the first time, if we can give them certain information, it will help.
Very well. Very well. Let's move to Parliament now, where the minority is raising alarm over what it calls an attempt by the government to criminalize free expression through a proposed new law. According to the minority, a draft bill currently being circulated seeks to make it an offense to post or share messages in online chat groups that may be deemed offensive or insightful. The minority contends that the move follows President John Dramani Mahama's recent directive to trace IP addresses of individuals spreading
Hello to you once again. This is Channel One TV. We're taking you back to the family home of the Rawlings family. As is the custom, many mourners continue to troop into the home to commiserate with the family. following the unfortunate passing of their mother, our former First Lady, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. Currently, the government chair, Nitaki Teko, through the second, is the one currently in the home. My colleague, Fauzima Saudu, is also standing by in the home of the Rawlings family.